Welcome today. We're diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in numismatic history. The incredible 1988 F1 cent coin, a tiny copper-plated wonder that has captured the attention of collectors around the world because of its rare errors, remarkable mistakes, and a near-mystical set of circumstances that have made it worth an astonishing $19 million. A value that sounds unbelievable until you understand the intricate story behind it. So let's take you on a journey through the details that make this coin one of the most valuable in existence, where every scratch, misalignment, and variation in minting tells a story of imperfection turned into priceless rarity, a true masterpiece of human error and historical intrigue. The 1988 F1 cent coin might appear to be an ordinary Lincoln penny at first glance, but the moment a collector or numismatist holds it under magnification, the magic begins to unfold as the coin reveals a constellation of minute details that deviate from the standard specifications of that year's mintage, starting with the mint mark itself, the mysterious F that has puzzled experts for decades. As the United States, Mint never officially produced a cent with the letter F as a mint mark, leading to endless debates and theories about how such a letter came to exist on a U.S. coin, from accidental die, engraving, to experimental prototypes that were never meant to leave the mint. Some theories suggest that the F was an internal test mark used by a mint engraver who wanted to distinguish a prototype die from the official ones, and somehow, through human oversight or machine malfunction, the coin entered circulation. Others believe that this mint mark may have been the result of a foreign mint collaboration error, where the letter F could signify Frankfurt or Florence as a potential test mint during an international production trial, which, if true, would make this coin not only a U.S. rarity, but an international mystery with historical significance that bridges borders and tells a story of how global minting collaborations sometimes led to confusion and accidental treasures. The visual errors on the 1988 F1 cent are extraordinary, starting with a noticeable double die obverse that shows clear duplication in the lettering of Liberty and the date, 1988, where each stroke seems slightly shadowed, creating a ghost-like mirroring effect that results from the die being struck twice out of perfect alignment. A mistake that can happen when minting equipment is recalibrated or when dies shift ever so slightly during production. Collectors prize double die errors because they represent the exact moment where human imperfection meets machine precision, freezing a tiny accident into metal for eternity. This particular coin takes it a step further because the doubling extends to Lincoln's eye, lips, and even his collar, creating an almost surreal depth to the design that draws you in the longer you stare at it, as if the coin itself holds multiple layers of history beneath its surface. Moving to the reverse side, the details are equally fascinating. The Lincoln Memorial appears slightly misaligned, with the base skewed toward the right rim. And what's even more unusual is the faint appearance of extra columns in the memorial, an overstrike effect that suggests that the die used may have been repurposed or improperly polished from an earlier year's design. In some specimens examined under microscopes by private collectors, traces of what appear to be 1,989 die elements are visible beneath the primary design, leading some experts to hypothesize that this coin may have been part of a transitional error batch produced during the shift between die sets from 1988 to 1989. Transitional errors are among the most sought after in the coin world because they represent the rare moments when two eras of design overlap. And if this coin indeed embodies such a transitional strike, it makes it one of the most historically significant and visually complex cents ever created. The metal composition adds another layer of intrigue. While 1988 cents were supposed to be made from copper-plated zinc, some examples of this coin appear to have slightly higher copper content, possibly due to leftover planchets from pre-1982 compositions being accidentally fed into the presses. If laboratory testing confirms even a fractionally higher copper ratio, it could add enormous value, as copper-based transitional errors are exceedingly rare. The coloration of the coin supports this theory as well, with a slightly richer reddish tone that contrasts the usual duller hue of zinc-based cents. Under certain lighting, it almost seems to glow hinting at the purity of its composition and the age-defying quality of its metal. Another breathtaking feature is the misaligned mint strike, noticeable when you observe the rim thickness, which is uneven and slightly thicker on the lower left quadrant, suggesting that the coin blank was not perfectly centered during striking. Misaligned dies are not particularly rare on their own, but when combined with multiple other errors, double die obverse, transitional composition, and an unknown mint mark, they become a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly that drives collectors into bidding wars. Some auction houses have recorded offers in the millions for less complex coins, and when a coin like this 1988 F example comes to light, with multiple stacked errors, its price skyrockets to astronomical figures. The historical context also contributes to its value. The late 1980s were a period of significant change in U.S. minting technology, transitioning from older engraving methods to more digitalized processes, and it's possible that during this technological shift, calibration mistakes, die testing, and human oversight combined to produce experimental coins that were never supposed to circulate. If the 1988 F1 cent was part of such a transition, it stands as physical proof of that era's innovation and imperfection colliding, a tangible artifact of the mint's evolution, giving it not just monetary value, but historical depth. Collectors have long speculated that the coin's rarity is compounded by the fact that only one verified specimen has ever been authenticated by private graders, with rumors of 2 or 3 others existing in private collections, but no confirmed public appearances since the early 2000s. The mystery surrounding its scarcity drives the price higher, as scarcity is one of the most powerful forces in numismatics. When a coin becomes the subject of legend and debate, its market value transcends the metal it's made of and becomes a symbol of discovery and obsession. And that's exactly what has happened with the 1988 F1 cent. Every collector dreams of finding the next big rarity, the coin that changes their life forever, and the idea that such a coin could be sitting unnoticed in a jar of spare change or a drawer somewhere fuels endless fascination and excitement. What truly makes this coin worth $19 million is not just its errors, but the combination of those errors with its backstory, its mystery, its timing, and its impossibility. Imagine the sheer odds of a prototype die with a non-existent mint mark being struck on a transitional planchet, misaligned, doubled, and released into circulation undetected. It's almost beyond comprehension. Each factor on its own would be enough to make a coin worth thousands, but combined, they form a perfect storm of numismatic rarity, a masterpiece born out of chaos. Collectors and experts describe it as the holy grail of modern cents, a coin that represents the pinnacle of minting mistakes. The market for rare coins thrives on stories like this, stories that turn ordinary pennies into legendary artifacts. The 1988 F cent has inspired countless treasure hunters to scour their coin rolls and collections, hoping to find a similar piece, but so far, none have matched the unique fingerprint of this particular coin. The surfaceware tells its own story. Despite its rarity, the coin shows light circulation marks, meaning it passed through the hands of ordinary people, buying candy or newspapers before anyone realized what it truly was. This connection to everyday life gives the coin a kind of poetic irony, that something so valuable could have once been so ordinary. It's a reminder that treasure often hides in plain sight. The investigative journey into the origins of this coin has also exposed fascinating insights into minting practices, die preparation, and quality control during the 1980s.